What's popping, everybody? Welcome back to JayCity. Today I'm going to be giving you guys a behind the scenes look and an editing breakdown of how I made this opening sequence for my Apple Watch Series 6 review. If you're debating whether or not you should buy an Apple Watch or not, you guys should definitely check out that video, which is going to be linked up there or in the description. But let's talk about this video first. And if you guys haven't seen that video, I'm going to play a clip of the opening sequence right now.
Thank you for calling. Please leave a message.
So yeah, that's a pretty dope intro if you were to ask me. Let me just start by saying that this opening sequence was absolutely unnecessary to do because all I was trying to do was an Apple Watch Series 6 long-term review, right? But I wanted to make this opening sequence with a lot of punch because I really like filmmaking and kind of learning how to experiment with different concepts, ideas, and different shots and kind of getting out of my comfort zone because I believe that if you don't go out of your comfort zone, then you're not really going to like learn as a filmmaker or as, you know, any skill. You have to like kind of try new things and experiment. So yeah, that's why I made this so extra. You know, I'm the most extra person in the entire world. So yeah, now that that's out of the way, let's talk about how I made this opening sequence. Now, before you even think about filming or editing, you have to have an idea in your head. So before I started, I wrote out an entire outline the night before, what kind of shots I want to take, kind of just brainstorm a bunch of ideas, and whatever I think of, I'll just jot it down into my notes app. And then once I have all of the ideas kind of lined up, then I'll start organizing them and I would start putting together what I would think would be a cool video. So I decided to split this video up into 3 parts. Let's talk about it shot by shot. So in this very first shot, let me just show you the new toy that I bought. So I bought this light stick from Amazon. Link will be in the description. And it comes with a remote and you can turn it on. You can change the colors and it looks pretty good. This thing really did come in handy. And I suspended my Apple Watch with a couple of fishing lines. You know, in the shot, it was like kind of visible, but I really didn't want to take the time to remove it because I still got exams to study for and I'm very busy. So this is what we're working with. I turned this on and then I turned on another key light, which is what I'm using to light my scene right now. And I turned it on in a sequence, but I put some sound design effects over it to kind of spice it up a little bit. And then the next shot, I just put down my Apple Watch on my iPad so that I can't talk, on top of my iPad so that I get that reflection on the surface. And I took my light and I kind of waved it around and I was able to get to change colors because I just blended 2 shots together using like a crossfade. Like I didn't do this and then change the color because I just didn't do it at the time. I could have done that, but I didn't. So for this next shot, I had a Lazy Susan that I bought from Dollarama for like $4. I span it and I just did a little, what's it called again? Ken Burns effect towards the Apple Watch to kind of give it a little bit more spiciness to the video. Same thing with this shot over here. This was legit just a push-in shot of my watch, but it's like a digital zoom. I put a clock ticking sound effect over top of the video so that it kind of spices it up a little bit because without it, it's going to be pretty bland. So with this next clip over here, I put my Apple Watch down on my iPad again so that we get that reflection. And I changed watch faces without moving the actual watch itself so that I can do kind of like a flip book effect and change watch faces. And at the same time, I put like digital zoom, digital panning so that it kind of makes the video more interesting. And then for this next one, I filmed the watch face of my Apple Watch. I chose the fire one because that is a really cool watch face. I keyframed so that the second hand was horizontal, but the watch is like spinning. so that it kind of gives this like cool effect where the needle is not moving, but the rest of the watch face is rotating around. And then right before the bass drop, I decided to put this little blank background with an operating voice that says, "Thank you for calling, please leave a message," because I was flipping through Epidemic Sounds for like some sound effects, and I just came across the sound effect and I was like, you know what, I might as well just put it in because it sounds kind of cool. And this transitions into part 2. So part 2, I really wanted to have something that was very futuristic looking. So what I decided to do was I put my Apple Watch on a glass table and I had an iPad that was playing like cool backgrounds, and I filmed from over top. Now, I zoomed in and out, I defocused and focused my camera, and I just edited that focusing action to the music. I also have a couple of layers that zoom in and out so that it kind of gives it like an extra layer of coolness. Now let's talk about my favorite part of the video, which is the light trail drawings with this light wand over here. So what I did was I actually didn't film a video for this part. I took a bunch of pictures, long exposures, and I interpolated in post. So what I did was I put my camera into intervalometer mode and I set the time for 1 second. So every 1 second, it'll take one picture. And I also put an ND filter on my lens. So now I had a bunch of pictures that I had to interpolate in post. So let me open up one of these projects for you guys. What I did was I dragged all of the pictures into my timeline and I put one picture on top of each other, and I changed the duration and the blend modes of the pictures so that it keeps the highlights of the pictures and it rejects the darker parts of the image, and it kind of gives it that light trail drawing effect. So that's how the light trail is able to paint on like it does in the video. And this was a really painstaking process because I had to drag each photo like one by one on top of each other. And I did that like 7+ times to get like more variations of like shots of different colors and focal lengths. So yeah, this part took a long time to do, but it was definitely worth it because it really just made the video. The next thing that I did was after I rendered those interpolated images up, I put it in my timeline of my opening sequence. And I also put some in and outs so that it gives it more dimension to the video. And at the same time, I synced up the camera motions with more sound design so that it kind of puts you in the hot seat. Because in filmmaking, the visuals are only half the story. The audio is also very important because it kind of immerses the person into the experience. It like your senses like work together to make it more immersive. So I put a lot of care and dedication into sound design. I've never really like done too much sound design in the past. So again, I really want to take this as like a learning opportunity to learn more sound design and to get better at it. So yeah, after I did all of this light trail interpolation and putting it in the video, I had something in mind where I would have sort of like a cyberpunk title after the song dies down a little bit, and then there's like a riser that leads to some cool title that says Apple Watch Series 6 long-term review. And at the same time, I interlaced videos of my watch on the table, and I kind of did like a little zoom in, rotate shot in slow motion. And finally, to transition back into my reviewing seat, I had a shot of me throwing up my Apple Watch in the air. And this was arguably one of the hardest shots in the entire video because I filmed this video at 120 frames per second. But the thing is, when you throw, it's not just like a simple throw because you have to get it just right so that it's in focus, but it can't be overshot or undershot or it's gonna be out of focus. I opened my lens up to f2.8, the widest that this lens can go to, and I just kind of randomly tried to throw my watch up, getting it as close to the actual plane of focus on my camera as I could, and it still has to be in the center. So yeah, this shot took a very long time. I threw it many times close to the camera over the course of like 20 minutes, hoping that one of the shots would hopefully be good. But in the post-production, because I shot like 20 minutes of me throwing the watch up, when you slow it down and when you interpolate to 24 frames, it becomes 5 times slower. So in reality, you have to like look through an hour or so of like video to find the correct shot that is good for the video. So I was lucky enough to find this one over here that was acceptable. It was not bad. It was not bad. So I decided to just take this one. I could have looked through more footage, but it takes too much time, man. So yeah, that is a very simplified behind the scenes look on how I create this opening montage for my Apple Watch Series 6 review. Before I end off this video, there's one more thing I want to touch on. So with a lot of product videos or videos in general, you know, the lighting is like super important, but you know, a real video light costs a lot of money, especially like the good ones, like the Aperture 100D is like my dream light. I really want to save up money to get that, but I don't have one, right? So I kind of just like worked with what I had. So I had one of these like video lights that is like portable, and I just used that for like the entire video to like kind of work around not having a super like big video expensive light. And also I worked around not having an electronic Lazy Susan to spin it automatically at a constant rate. I just had like a dollar store Lazy Susan. So, you know, filmmaking doesn't have to be like an expensive hobby. You just have to like have the tools and like know how to work with what you have. Oh yeah, and another thing that I really want to emphasize is the importance of sound design and how that affects your videos. So I'm going to remove all of my sound design effects from my video, and I'm going to play the clip without any sound design, and then let's see what it looks like.
Thank you for calling. Please leave a message.
So yeah, as you can see, it makes a pretty big difference with the sound design. It just feels a lot more immersive. So yeah, that is the basic behind the scenes look on how I create this Apple Watch opening montage for my Apple Watch Series 6 long-term review. If you haven't watched that video, definitely check it out. And if you like more of these videos, then let me know in the comments. I might make more behind the scenes look into more videos in the future. If you're new to JayCity, what's poppin'? My name is Jason. I make videos about tech, my university life, as well as with photography and filmmaking. So if that's your thing, then definitely click that subscribe button and enable those bell notifications. And also give this video a thumbs up so that it helps me out and the YouTube algorithm. So yeah guys, thank you so much for watching. If you want to see my Apple Watch Series 6 review in its entirety, it's going to be right here. And these videos are videos that YouTube think you'll like, so definitely also check those out. Stay safe and take care. Peace.